me because I'm still some technical error. But if you can actually hear me, I hope you guys are actually hearing me on our Facebook Live. Okay, once again, if you can hear me on our Facebook Live, can you just type in 555 so that I know that you guys are able to hear me? Right, for those of you who are already on our Facebook Live, okay, can you do me a favor? Can you just type in 555 in the comments below so that I know that you guys are able to hear me loud and clear? Okay, cool. Now I'm able to see your comment. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, all right. So once again, okay, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to our Buy or Buy series tonight, and we are going to talk about this company called Facebook, okay, which is the exact software that I'm using right now. In fact, I'm facing some technical error on Facebook, but nonetheless, I believe that this is definitely a company that is worth investing and even worth looking into. So we will be starting in about another 3 more minutes. Okay, so we have more people actually coming online. So we'll be starting at about 8:05, 8:06. So for those of you who are first time hearing us on our Buy or Buy series, so this series is basically done on a weekly basis whereby I will share every single week on one US company and also one Singapore company. So I will actually rotate between SG stocks as well as the US stocks. So there will be a certain format which later on I will also go through during the PowerPoint. There will be a certain format which is going to make it a lot more systematic so that even for people who are totally new, you will also be able to use this and you are also able to do your own research as well just by following this format. All right, so once again, very good evening to all of you. Fantastic, fantastic. I see that quite a number of you guys are actually live on Facebook. So let me share my screen first. Okay, allow me to share my screen first. All right, so right now you should be looking at my screen with a very, very, very big, Facebook logo over there. So if you are able to see my screen, okay, with my PowerPoint on Facebook, can you just do me a favor? Can you just hit the love button at the bottom of your screen? So if you're using your phone, it's actually, right at the bottom, red in color. And of course, for those of you who are using your laptop or desktop, you should be able to find the heart button somewhere around your screen. So just to make sure that you guys are able to see the PowerPoint, yes, I do see some hearts coming up. So we will be starting in about 1 minute. Okay, we will be starting in 1 minute's time. So again, if you have any friends who are interested to know more about Facebook, whether this is a stock that is worth investing into, you can also tag them. If not, you can actually share this video after that as well, or even do a watch party so that your friends is able to watch this subsequently after this. Okay, cool. Wow. Today is a Saturday. Today is a Sunday evening, and we have almost 40 of you actually coming online. Okay. That's really amazing. I mean, with the elections going on, some of you might be watching the elections, but yet, okay, we have almost 40 people watching Buy or Buy series. But once again, just want to say again that if you actually miss this series, don't worry, everything will be available on our Facebook as well as on our YouTube as well. Right, so I'm going to get started right now. So once again, very good evening to all of you for coming to our Buy or Buy series. And today we're going to talk about this very, very interesting company called Facebook. We are right now Facebook Live using the Facebook as well. So that shows how sticky this particular platform actually is. And in fact, for myself, I think I spend at least more than an hour a day, surfing through Facebook, at least 1 hour. Probably a lot more, but yeah, at least 1 hour. And that's just actually one of the tools that Facebook actually offer. So later, I'm also going to go through that Facebook doesn't just own Facebook. In fact, a lot of the other app that you're probably using are also actually a subsidiary of Facebook. So very, very interesting company. And let me go and dive in straight. So once again, very important, if you have not subscribed to us on YouTube, please do support us on our YouTube channel. Okay, that is where you will be able to see a lot of other videos past buy or buy series, as well as our Ask UI series on our YouTube channel as well. And very importantly, if right now you should be watching on our Ultimate Investing Facebook group. So please help us to like as well as to share so that more people will be able to see this video. And very importantly, something new, if you would like to receive the PDF copy of our presentation today, all right, all you need to do, very simple, is to actually comment in the below claim, CLAIM, and then we will actually send you a copy of our PDF of the whole slides for this Facebook buy or buy. So that's very, very simple. And so coming to this disclaimer, once again, what I'm sharing with you is purely for educational purpose. So investment definitely carries certain risks, and it is advisable to do your own due diligence, make sure that you do your own research as well before you actually invest in any of the companies. So the format I'll be going through, again, is using this format called Big Profit. So we will start with the background, followed by the industry. Then we talk about some of the growth factor, the peer comparison, the risk opportunity, and we end off with the financial fitness of this company. So now, starting with the first one, the background of this company. So probably some of you might not know, okay, but anyway, Facebook has actually got 70 offices in 70 cities worldwide, okay, including Singapore. And of course, they have 16 data centers globally. And I think that is also why you can see that a lot of other companies are investing a lot into data center, because that is definitely a growing trend. And moving forward, definitely they will need to expand, the number of data centers that they actually have. And as of March 31st, they have 48,000 full-time employees. That is very, very huge, okay, amount in terms of employees. And their main headquarters is actually in California. So what Facebook actually built, okay, over here, you have your Facebook app, which they started back in 2004. And in 2011, they built Facebook Messenger. All right, so that was inbuilt by Facebook. 2012, they actually bought over this app called Instagram, which we are probably very familiar with as well. And of course, WhatsApp. Okay, I would say WhatsApp is still one of the main messaging tool that we use as a Singaporean in Singapore. And that was again bought over by Facebook in 2013. And so 2014, they actually bought into something that is relatively interesting. Okay, Oculus. Later, I'm going to share more about what Oculus does. So just to share with you the name first. And 2016, they bought over this workplace. 2018, they have Porter. And of course, 2019, they have Novi or Novi. So starting with this company called Oculus. All right, so what they do is basically we talk about this thing called virtual reality. All right, virtual reality. So basically you wear these goggles and you will be able to, you will be able to have a kind of like a 5D effect. All right, so that currently VR is used a lot in the gaming industry, whereby you can actually, kill zombie, you can dance, you can, ride on roller coaster, etc., etc. So there's quite a couple of usage right now, but I would say that the main thing is actually in the gaming. So they actually bought over this company. So right now, how do you link Facebook and VR? Okay, it's still not so clear in terms of how they actually link to each other. But moving forward, later I'm also going to share that Facebook is moving into e-commerce. So in the future, you might be actually buying stuff, wearing a virtual reality, and you can probably go shopping and do a lot of stuff with this technology. The next, okay, is actually this one called Workplace from Facebook. So what it does, actually very, very simple. It is simply the Facebook group for companies. All right, so which I feel that is a little bit of redundant because we have our Facebook group already. So this is more customized, okay, for companies. So y'all can go and check it out. But personally, I actually went to check out their website. I don't see that there's much need for individual like us, probably more for companies. And of course, very interesting, we have this one called Porter. So what exactly is Porter? It is something like an iPad, all right, except that the main feature for it is purely just for video conferencing. And of course, for you to actually use it as a photo album. Right, so it is just like an iPad, and you can actually use it to actually call your friend through the Facebook Messenger. and you can actually like a FaceTime with them as well. So that is the whole product range of this company doing Porter. So again, I would say that not very, very popular, right? Even though there's a increase in trend in terms of video conferencing and things like that. But I think most people would have probably use their laptop or even just spend a little bit more, get an iPad, whereby you can actually have multiple use rather than just simply, this for video conferencing purposes. And of course, the last one is this thing called Novi. So Novi is actually a digital wallet that is meant for the Libra payment system. So I'm sure that people who are interested in Facebook, you also probably heard of this thing called the Libra. So Libra is actually a new global payment system developed by Facebook. So it combines, the blockchain and all the new technology. But once again, this is something that is very, very new. I don't think it is even released yet. All right, but this is something that is available, I think 2020 moving forward as well. So very interestingly, okay, because we all are familiar with Facebook, but most of us probably are not sure how big or how strong Facebook actually is. So over here, I have the top 10 listed companies in US in terms of the market size, market capitalization. And we can see on the first position, we have Apple, okay, that is actually have a market cap of 1.5 trillion, okay, 1.5 trillion. And Microsoft at, again, another 1.5 trillion. Amazon at 1.4 trillion. Number 5 is Alphabet, which is Google at 1 trillion. And of course, number 5, the 5th position, we have Facebook at 676 billion. All right, so they are really, really a very huge company, a huge tech company. Yeah, so it's not just as simple as Facebook itself. They are really, really huge with a lot of cash in their bank account. Now we want to move on to the industry that Facebook is actually in. So the first part of the business of Facebook they are in is definitely Messenger. As you can see in this particular picture, it shows the different messaging app like WhatsApp, Telegram, Line, Skype, WeChat, and of course other competitor as well. So this is a research actually done by Statista, okay, based on year 2020, which is the current year. Okay, how many actually monthly active user for the Messenger portfolio? So you can see that the largest, all right, monthly active user is actually still dominated by WhatsApp. The second place is Facebook Messenger, followed by WeChat, QQ Mobile, Telegram, and of course, Snapchat. But I do believe that this is probably mainly for the US market. Probably it excludes the China market. Yeah, but we can see that actually right now WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, they do dominate the messenger market. And of course, when it comes to social media, without a doubt, we know that Facebook is definitely the largest in terms of the number of active users. So 2.4, okay, and that is 2,400 million, and that means 2.4 billion, all right, active users using Facebook. And of course, on second place, we have YouTube. And again, WhatsApp on the third place, which WhatsApp is also part of Facebook. Facebook Messenger is also part of Facebook. And on the sixth position, we have Instagram, which is also part of Facebook. So you can see out of the top 10, Facebook, they actually have Facebook, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram. And that is actually why they are actually so powerful. And they're actually a very, very strong company as well. And when it comes to the leading countries or number of Facebook audience size based on country, interestingly, okay, so some people were thought that probably US have the largest of Facebook audience, but the answer is no. India has the largest Facebook audience size, all right, which they have a total of 280 million, followed by US of 190 million, and of course the third place is Indonesia with 130 million. So again, in China, because China kind of restrict Facebook, so that is why you don't actually see China over here. And yeah, so this is actually also a company that is acquired by Facebook called MediaKicks. So this is something that they actually released. Okay, which influencer marketing channel will you spend the most on in 2019? And I would say 69% of marketers actually plan to spend the most budget on Instagram. So that actually shows, in terms of how Facebook generate money is actually through ads. All right, and who determine how much ads and what to spend is actually the marketer. So this is actually something that is very, very important, because you can have a lot of people, for example, a lot of people are using WeChat, but not a lot of marketers are actually spending ads dollar on WeChat. Yeah. So in terms of the number of user, it might be comparable, but in terms of profit as a company, Facebook is doing really, really well in that area. And some interesting facts over here. Okay, very interesting facts. The most followed person on Instagram is none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, so maybe you can actually type in, okay, what does Cristiano Ronaldo actually do? Why is he so famous? Okay, some of you might not have heard of him before. Maybe you can just type into the Facebook chat. Okay, what does Cristiano Ronaldo do? So he have a total of 122 million subscriber to his Facebook page in June 2020. And of course, if you look at the top 5, he is the only person that has the highest number. One of the largest is actually a company, and that is this company called Samsung. So on the bottom, you can see that, okay, in terms of social media advertising, brand presence on social media is a very, very big business, and social media advertising revenue was actually the strongest growing ad category in the United States, which means that for a company, if they want to actually, put their branding on ads, they have actually multiple platforms that they can actually push to, and I would say that social media is something that is catching up. As compared to the past, in order for you to actually do your advertisement, you have your normal television media, you have your radios, you have, prints or even books, but social media is relatively new, but yet it is actually the strongest growing category in terms of brand presence. All right, and right now we want to look into peer comparison. Yes, somebody mentioned football, correct. Yes, it's actually a footballer, so you can check it out, Cristiano Ronaldo. And of course, when we want to compare the peer comparison, we want to look at the different area that Facebook is actually in. So starting with messaging, they have Apple, okay, which is iMessage, and of course, you have your WeChat as well. Then, of course, when it comes to social media, there's definitely a lot more competitor. We have ByteDance, which is the company behind the very, very famous TikTok and Douyin in China. And of course, we have Twitter, Snapchat, and again, WeChat as well under the social media. And in terms of advertising, okay, who is competing with Facebook in terms of ads? It's actually Google, okay, with the Google AdSense, Google SEO and SEM. And of course, we have YouTube. So YouTube is also under Google as well. So they are under the same company. And of course, we have Amazon. So in terms of competitor, I would say that definitely there are strong competitors out there. But what makes Facebook actually kinds of dominate the market in terms of ad is because of their number of the number of active users. So in terms of active user, Facebook is still the largest. Okay, even larger than Google and even larger than YouTube as well. And of course, when you have so many people inside your database, okay, what is so powerful is how they actually extract data out of you. So I'm sure you know that when you actually have an Facebook account, you will actually put in, things like your interests, what are some of the things that you like to do. For example, if you actually love shopping, all right, or you actually follow some people. So through the algorithm, through the AI, artificial intelligence, they are able to actually detect what are some of the things that you are looking at. So I'm sure you know that, for example, right now, if let's say you are looking at a Mercedes car, so right after you finish watching the website or you go to certain website, immediately on your Facebook, you realize that they are feeding you a lot of advertisement with regards to Mercedes. Or if you are planning to go on holiday for maybe to Japan, and after you actually just probably do some research on your Google, immediately on your Facebook, there's a lot of tour agencies that introduce you, okay, not to Africa, not to Jakarta, but they will introduce you to Japan. So that is how powerful all this data is. So basically, they kind of feeds you the kind of information to direct the ads directly to you because you're looking for that information. So that data is very powerful, as well as the number of active daily user. So in terms of the growth of Facebook, why is Facebook so powerful and are they actually still growing? We want to look at these 4 indicators, starting with the daily active user, how many users are active on a daily basis. And of course, we have the monthly active user. So we calculate on a monthly basis. And of course, we have the daily active people. Later, I'm going to share with you what is the difference between daily active user and daily active people. And very importantly, we want to look at the average revenue per user. Okay, how much Facebook is able to generate per user. So starting with the DAU, which is the daily active user, we can see from the left to the right based on a quarterly update. All right, you can see that there's definitely a rise. Okay, that means it is actually growing in terms of the number of users that is using Facebook. So this number, okay, this daily active user, actually it doesn't include users on Instagram as well as WhatsApp. So this is purely just Facebook alone. Okay, just purely Facebook alone. So one good thing, you can see that they are constantly growing. And in terms of the monthly active user, definitely the numbers will be even higher. Okay, so that is where we can see that they actually have 2.6 billion, okay, 2.6 billion of monthly active users surfing Facebook. So that is how big the market is. All right, and once again, this doesn't include users on Instagram and WhatsApp. So to also, okay, share with you, okay, what about a comparison? Okay, that means a combination of Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, a total, okay, that is where we want to look at this thing called the daily active people. Okay, so the DAP actually includes all the platforms under Facebook. So they actually have a daily active people of 2.36 billion. Okay, 2.36 billion. So which means that you can see out of 7.8 world population of 7.8 billion, almost 1/3 of them actually are using, something that is related to Facebook or a company or a product that is actually part of Facebook, WhatsApp, or even. So that is how powerful it is, right? And in terms of the average revenue per user, we want to know, is this also an increasing amount? So that is where we can see that definitely you can see that there's an increase based on Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. All right. And of course, if you look at the last column, you can see that there is a slight dip. But if we actually compare on a year-on-year quarter based on last year, Q1 2019 compared to this year, Q1 2020, we can still see that there is actually still a positive growth. Okay, there's still a positive growth. So once again, during the first quarter, we all know that that is where the COVID actually started. So despite, the start of COVID and things, we are still seeing a pretty strong figure coming on from Facebook as well. So of course, Q2 is actually not out yet, which the result will actually be released the end of this month. But I do see that, Facebook is definitely still able to come out strong, right? So now we want to look at some of the risks in terms of investing in Facebook as well. So number one, definitely we are afraid of a reduction in spending by marketers, okay, because of the overall macro economy. Things are looking a little bit more gloomy. People are actually cutting down. So that is, of course, the first thing. And of course, the second one is competitor products or services, which means that right now, most people actually do not have just one social media account. They can be on Facebook, at the same time they are on Twitter, at the same time they are on, Snapchat, they are on, TikTok as well. So we actually use multiple social media account at the same time. And of course, the third one is Facebook failed to introduce new features, products, or services to engage existing users. So I think it ties into the second point about competitor. If you don't actually continue to innovate, to come up with something that is interesting to attract your existing customers, naturally your customers will actually flow, or rather they will not delete their account, all right, but they might spend more time on other platforms. I think that is something, one good thing about Facebook is that they are so strong because all your information, all your photos, probably like 2 years ago, what do you eat? You took a photo, you upload on the Facebook, 2 years later, Facebook is able to tell you, hey, do you still remember 2 years ago, you actually took this photo? Where were you? So those are all the memories that we actually had. So right now, Facebook is just like a data center, a collection of all of our memories. So even if we are probably not using so much of Facebook, we will probably not delete it, but we might actually spend more time on other social media, right? And of course, coming to the fourth point, okay, diminishing user experience due to ads display. I think that comes down to the user experience as well. As much as we love to surf Facebook for, maybe some update on our friends' lives, even about news, even about the latest politic information, Facebook serves as a way for us to keep, to date, updated with the current world affair. At the same time, you realize that there will be a lot of ads that is coming out. So Facebook have to make a balance between the number of information versus the number of useful or rather relevant advertisement. So imagine they keep on pushing advertisement in front of your, news feed. You will actually become a little bit irritated. And if you have a negative experience when it comes to using Facebook, you might actually again switch to other platform as well. So they need to actually find a balance between the number of ads, okay, and of course the user experience. And of course the last one, which I think a lot of people are concerned about, is actually related to privacy and how you share, and of course the safety and security of using Facebook, because right now so many information that we actually have are all stored over there as well. So in short, people can actually misuse the information that we actually have and we actually allow to share to Facebook. So that is of course comes to the PDPA, personal data protection as well. And of course, we know that, in the news, Facebook is often well known for good news as well as bad news. So just very recently, Facebook is under fire as companies actually pause social media ads. Yeah, so this was actually posted like last week only. And at the bottom, you can see that CEO of Facebook, Amazon, Apple, and Google to testify at House, for antitrust hearing. So in fact, it is not just Facebook. All right, in terms of the tech company, a lot of all these large tech company are actually being how to say, I wouldn't say threatened, but there's a lot of rules and regulation. Even for the government, they are actually still coming out with all these rules, because you can see the tech actually just came out so fast that a lot of the rules are actually not in place yet, right? So that is why other than Facebook, I would say that other competitors are also facing similar issue when it comes to all this government ruling and regulation. So there will be definitely some risk when it comes to government regulation, right? So I don't think this just apply to Facebook alone. And we can see that previously, based on the in 2019, they actually have this, what do I call it? The Cambridge scandal. So they actually have to settle it with a $5 billion fine, but so to some people, they feel that 5 billion is a lot of money, but for Facebook, it is a lot of money, but after they actually paid off this fine, what happened to the share price? The share price actually recovered and it just went all the way up. So of course they are rich lah. Facebook are definitely rich. So 5 billion to them is like a small sum of money. But having said that, because of this issue, because of this fine, so Facebook actually spent a lot of money, to make sure that they actually improve in terms of the privacy, improve in terms of this regulation thingy. So that is why for the past, I think 1 year, you don't really see so much issue coming on with Facebook lah. And of course, at the bottom, you can see that one of the key risks is also Facebook is shutting down Hobby. So Hobby is actually a copycat of Pinterest, right? So what Facebook actually do is also very simple. They like to copy what other people is doing. So for example, recently the most famous app is, of course, we know the TikTok, which is the Douyin. So they actually created an app that is very, very similar to TikTok as well. But from what I researched, okay, they actually kind of like, it's a failure lah. So they didn't manage to actually turn it to be successful. I think there's only like 7,000 people who actually downloaded that app. So it was definitely a failure. So at the bottom, you can see Hobby isn't the first app that, the MPE team, okay, which is the team that is in charge of creating new app in Facebook. So previous release includes meme making app Whale, party DJ app AUX, and anonymous chat app Bump. But some of them actually failed. So there's of course the risk as well. So now, as you can see, in terms of the impact of the FTC lawsuit in 2019, so a lot of people might be affected. What happened, when there's a lawsuit, when they have to pay a lump sum of money, definitely it's going to impact, the bottom line in terms of the profit that they're going to make. But is it going to be a huge impact? I would say it is still manageable, because you can see based on in Q1 2019, inclusive of the lawsuit, that means inclusive of the payment that they have to make, which is $5 billion, Facebook still make a 22% net profit. All right. I'm sure that based on my other buy or buy series, we mentioned that we want to have a net profit of more than 10%. That is something that is, I would say, pretty reasonable for a good business. So for Facebook, even after the lawsuit, even after paying off $5 billion, they are still making a 22% net profit. So as compared to normal businesses, you can see that even with a lawsuit, they are still very, very profitable. And of course, without a lawsuit, they are making in the range of 30 to 40% net profit, which is really, really amazing. And in terms of the cost of revenue, the marketing and sales, you realize that it is pretty flat, okay, slight increase over the years, okay, but pretty much they actually manage it pretty well. And of course, Facebook is a company that doesn't require marketing. All right, they are a company that allows people to market. So basically, they don't have to market. They don't have to spend money for marketing. So in terms of the Facebook net margin, in terms of what I have just shared with you, okay, before the crisis, before the FTC lawsuit, it was all above 40%. Even with the lawsuit, they still managed to do a 22% net margin. And after the lawsuit, it goes back up to 40%. Currently, with the COVID, it came down a little bit, but it is still at pretty healthy of 33%. So in terms of profitability, I would say that Facebook is a company that is really, really strong. They really know how to make money, even with crisis, even with a lawsuit, As compared to many companies during this period, they might be losing money, but Facebook, no, they are still making money. They are still making a lot of money, just slightly lower. So in terms of the opportunity that Facebook actually have, all right, let me just share with you. So definitely, I'm sure you have heard of this news. Again, it is very updated based on 16 June 2020. WhatsApp launches the first digital payment option. All right, so they went into the payment system as well. So this payment system is actually using one of their main product, which is WhatsApp. So which means that in the future, you will probably be able to send money, to your friend through WhatsApp. So again, this is something that is like a copy of WeChat, which we know in China, WeChat and Alipay is already, social media transfer of funds is already very, very common, and it's already embedded into their app as well. So WhatsApp is actually, kind of, I wouldn't say copy, but they are actually referencing, okay, from WeChat as well as Alipay. So they are actually launching their first digital payment option. And of course, with the payment option available, so Instagram is also going into e-commerce. Okay, Instagram is going into e-commerce with this particular thing called the checkout, Instagram checkout. So in the future, which means that when you surf your Instagram, you see the dress or you see the, the items that you love, you will be able to actually buy them immediately through Instagram. So it directly links you to your credit card, and directly link you to your payment system. So it makes it very, very a one-stop service for you. So that is, I would say, the future trend of where WhatsApp is definitely going in terms of e-commerce, in terms of the payment system. So Libra is something that is still relatively new, but I believe that they are also trying to, convert the payment system into a combination of the blockchain technology as well. But definitely in terms of the blockchain technology, in terms of how well received it is, definitely it will still take time. But I can see that, Facebook is actually moving towards that direction. So now I think what is most exciting is actually the financial fitness. Okay, but before I go to that, I just want to make sure that you guys are actually still, with me. So if you are still with me, can you just help me by hitting the haha button? Okay, so at the bottom, you will see beside the heart, okay, you can see one logo with a very, very big laugh, something like this. Okay, can you just hit the button so that I know that you are still here and you are looking forward to the financial fitness. Okay, I see one happy haha smile already. Okay, fantastic. Wow, we have 66 of you actually here. So now coming to the financial fitness, I think this is where, I have been talking so much about Facebook. It's so good. Got WhatsApp, got Messenger, got this, got that, it's growing. But very importantly, those are what I shared. But does it relate to real number? Does it relate to real profit? Okay, this is where, it's like the real test of the company. So again, how do we know this company is good or not? We look at 7 financial check. The first one is growing revenue. So every year they must collect more and more money. The second one, in terms of the profit, it must be positive earnings per share. And the third one is free cash flow. That means money going into your bank account. Okay, I mean Facebook account. It must be positive as well. So growing free cash flow. Number 4, return on equity more than 15% to show the efficiency of the management. And number 5, net margin must be more than 10%. Interest coverage, whereby we look at the debt level, must be more than 5 for a company to have a relatively low debt and healthy cash flow. And of course, the last one, to see whether is Facebook undervalued or overvalued. Today, we're going to use PEG to be less than 2. So starting with the first one, you can see growing revenue, all right? So from the left to the right, from 1,974 million, okay, it grew all the way to 70,000 million. 70,000 million, which is 70 billion. So Facebook collected 70 billion revenue in 2019. So that is a really, really huge number. So definitely, is this a pass? Without a doubt, I would say that it's definitely a pass. The second one, positive earnings per share. Are they making real profit or not? So earnings per share must be positive. Okay, so we can see for Facebook, not only is it positive, but year on year, you can see that it has been growing. All right, it has been growing, except for 2019. I would say that there was a dip because of the $5 billion fine. But coming back to the last figure, which is TTM, whereby we talk about the last 12 month, trailing 12 month, it's again back up to the 7 digit. So earnings per share, $7. So really, really good as well. So I will definitely give it a pass for earnings per share. And in terms of free cash flow, is the cash flow growing? Definitely a yes as well. So far, number 1, number 2, number 3, everything is good, all passed. And number 4, return on equity more than 15%. Right, you can see over the last few years, definitely it has stayed above 15%, really, really strong in terms of return on equity. And even based on the trailing 12 month, which is the extreme right figure, we are at 21.85. So this is again a pass. And if you look at the net margin, like what I have mentioned just now, the margin for Facebook is really, really healthy as well. So we are looking at more than 10%, but up till now, they actually are performing, more than, even in fact, more than 20%. It's very, very close to 30%. So that is really, really amazing for a company with a size of like Facebook. And of course, when we look at the interest coverage, whereby we want to look at the debt level. So once again, this is a company, why I like it so much is because they have no debt. They have so much cash. In fact, I think one of the biggest, what is going on in Mark Zuckerberg's head in every day is he's thinking on what company can he buy. What are some of the companies that he can actually acquire so that Facebook, the whole ecosystem can become stronger. But I would say that is also another resistance or rather difficulty that Mark Zuckerberg will have, partly because they are so huge. So the government are actually placing a lot of restriction because of the monopoly regulation. So they do not want, this kind of tech company to kind of monopolize the whole industry. So that is why, some company, even they might have the money to actually buy, the government might not approve. So that is going to be a challenge. That is definitely going to be a challenge for them. But other than that, in terms of the debt level, definitely is a pass. So coming to the last one, okay, so I think a lot of people will be wondering, yeah, I know Facebook is a good company, everything is amazing, but it's not cheap. Right, so how do we know whether it is cheap or not cheap? We don't look at the share price, we have to look at the valuation. And that is where today we're going to use PEG. So how do you calculate PEG? So first you must determine what is the PE ratio of Facebook. And based on Morningstar, I generated a PE ratio of 32. And if we look at the G, which is the growth rate of the earnings per share, based on a 3-year average is 22%, based on a 5-year average is 42%. So in this particular example, I want to be a little bit conservative. So I'm actually using the lower figure of 22%. And so how do we actually calculate PEG? We will take PE divided by the growth rate, which gives me 32 divided by 22, and I'll get a PEG of 1.45. So PEG less than 2 is a pass. So Facebook right now is 1.45, and there's actually still quite a number of margin, which is even better for me. Okay, so with all the information that I have been sharing with you so far, I believe probably you guys already can make a decision whether this is a buy, BUY, or is this a BYE company. So maybe before I release the answer, okay, can you all just type in, what do you think of this company? Is this going to be a BUY, buy, or is this going to be a BYE, bye-bye? Maybe you can put into the chat group, put into the comments below whether it's going to be a BUY or BYE. And of course, just to summarize everything, this is the Financial Fitness. It's a very, very healthy company. And I'm going to summarize it with a buy as well as the not so good point. So starting with the good point about this company, I would say that with more user and usage time than any other social network, Facebook provides the largest audience and the most valuable data for social network online advertising, right? So they are the largest, and in terms of the data they actually have and the AI that they actually have to analyze and break down all this data to make it more efficient, I would say that they are the best so far. And the second one is that we can see that Facebook ad revenue per user is growing. All right, that is the important key criteria we want to look at as well, that the revenue per user is growing. So it demonstrates that the value that advertisers see in working with the firm. And again, like I said, most of the money so far is coming from US, but India is actually one of their largest, number of users. So that is also a market that I would say that Facebook is probably trying to engage them more, to train the business in India, to make them actually learn how to use advertisement, how to actually spend more as well. And of course, for the last one is the application in AI technology to Facebook various offering, along with the launch of VR product will increase user engagement, driving further growth in advertising revenue. So Facebook having the largest daily user, the largest number of database, I would say that whatever, acquisition that they actually have, they would have this very, very powerful network effect. So it's like, because they have Facebook, so when they actually come up with Instagram, when they buy over Instagram, immediately they know they learn how to complement each other. So with the VR or rather the acquisition of Oculus, so moving forward, like I said, that will be probably something that they will be doing. Next time you'll be buying something on Instagram, wearing your virtual reality glasses, so you can literally just go window shopping at home without even having to go out. And in this current situation of COVID-19, once again, I would say that during COVID-19, yes, businesses are spending less when it comes to, advertising dollar. But at the same time, do not forget that the number of people that actually spend their time on social media, on, things like Facebook, Instagram, the number of hours actually increased tremendously. All right. So moving forward, I would say that the number of users would also increase a lot. So that would actually be something that is beneficial for Facebook as well. And now coming to the not so good point about Facebook. So this is something that, the analysts actually mentioned. Facebook is currently a one-trick pony and will be affected severely if online advertisement no longer grows or if more advertising dollars shift to others like Google or Snapchat. Yeah, I think Google is coming up strong, as well as YouTube, which is also part of Google. So there is definitely this, risk of, customers changing their advertising dollar from Facebook to move to other advertising platform. And the second not so good point is that despite the rapid user growth, many of the Facebook customers may also belong to other social networks such as Snapchat or TikTok. So the firm will continually have to fight to capture a user's time and engagement with Facebook properties. So I would say that TikTok is coming out really, really strong, and they are growing a lot faster than Facebook. So that is definitely a threat that potentially might, compete with Instagram. I would say that the number of users for TikTok is right now on par with Instagram, and based on the growth rate, I would say that TikTok is growing faster. And so definitely in terms of Facebook, they definitely have to do something lah in terms of this area. And the last part is that regulation could emerge that limit the application and collection of user and usage data or restrict acquisition impacting data utilization and growth. What this actually mean in layman terms is a lot of countries are actually restricting how Facebook collect data. Yeah, that means, for example, in Europe, there's a new regulation that that kind of disallow Facebook to collect important information from their Facebook user in Europe. So without this information, they can't actually put it into their AI software, and they can't actually be able to pinpoint, the kind of what advertiser actually want, or what marketer actually want, to be able to target the right audience. So all this new regulation that the government come out with might affect how Facebook actually operates, and therefore affects the advertising dollar that marketer is willing to actually put in as well. So those are all the risks that definitely they have lah. And okay, let me just take a look at all your answer. Okay, so far everybody say bye. Okay, you all say one. Now I say one. Okay, yep. Anyway, coming to Winston. Okay, I'm going to take some question before I release my answer. Okay, I will say that you also know my answer lah. But anyway, Winston, how about from a TA perspective, is now the right time to enter? Wow, this is a little bit complicated coming from a technical analysis portion. But let me share with you something that is new. Probably you guys have not heard it before. But I like to buy a stock when it breaks new high. I like to buy a stock when it breaks new high. So right now, I think they are actually approaching the new high already. So yeah, so y'all can go and take it, check it out lah. For those of you who are more TA or technical analysis savvy, the moment it break new high, to me that is a good entry point. But having said that, later on, whatever I'm going to share is purely just based on buying share. Okay, it's basically just based on buying share. That means you buy and then you just leave it there for 5 years, 10 years. That is the kind of strategy that I would be doing in terms of this buy or buy series. Okay, mailing, is it overpriced? Yeah, I just mentioned just now, based on PEG, it is currently less than 2. So which means that right now, based on my valuation, I would term Facebook to be undervalued. And of course, for coal, what is the recommended entry price? Will the price drop lower in the next few days or weeks? Okay, very importantly, I think for those of you who actually watch my other series, we can't really time the market. Okay, we can't really time the market. So right now, I can say that the price that is available is something that is reasonable. It is undervalued, but will it drop over the next few days or over the next few weeks? You never know. All right, unless you actually combine with technical analysis, which again, technical analysis is not 100% thing. It just kind of increase the probability of you making a right guess. So having said that, I would suggest that whatever I shared over here is based on a long-term perspective of this company of at least 5 years, which means that if let's say I recommended a buy, I'm looking at buying and just leaving it for 5 years, as the company continue to grow, the share price continue to go up, and that is how you can actually make profit out of this. So I don't really time it over here, at least for this buy or buy series. Is all based on the long-term investing mindset. Can we have a session comparing the few competitor, Facebook versus Google versus different company? Okay, yeah, of course, definitely. I think this is something that is interesting, but at the same time, we have to understand that as much as they are competitor, but their niche is actually different. Like Facebook is, like YouTube is something is about video content. So advertisers that put their video on YouTube might not want to put on Facebook. Advertisers who put their brand on Facebook might not want to put on YouTube. So they actually cater to, I would say, a different target audience. And of course, we know that for Google, they have Google AdSense, and Google SE, search engine marketing as well. So it's very, very different. in terms of how they collect money. Okay, so Ruth, okay, I am long at average 1650. Oh, okay, that's good. So which means that probably you are in profit right now as well. Do you recommend using option play on this? Yes, definitely for me, like I always use option. But I would say that if you are not too sure about option, then you have to learn. Then if not, I would recommend you to just simply buy the share and just hold it, right? So coming to my decision, whether is Facebook going to be a buy, B-U-Y, or is this going to be a buy, B-U-Y-E? All right, can we have some drum roll, drum roll? Can you just type in drum roll? All right, so which is it going to be, B-U-Y or B-Y-E? I think the answer is obvious. It's definitely going to be a buy, okay, B-U-Y. So I was actually quite surprised. I mean, I actually own Facebook as well, but after I actually did this research, then that is where I realized that they're actually very, very powerful. And even with the COVID-19, I think one of the biggest fear for most people is, COVID-19 might affect a lot of businesses out there. But looking at Facebook, even with this COVID-19, I don't think they will be severely affected, even with the recent cases whereby a lot of companies are dropping out on their marketing dollars for Facebook. Okay, but if you go and look closer, a lot of companies actually say that they only will stop 1 month. So which means that after 1 month, they will resume their payment. And of course, for Facebook, they can simply just charge them even higher advertising dollar, so they can easily earn back in that sense. So for those of you who have been using Facebook for marketing, you know that the pricing of Facebook dollar is actually based on Facebook. If they like you, they can give you a very good rate. If they don't like you, they can charge you very, very expensive. So for those, like for example, Starbucks, okay, you drop out of me 1 month, right? Next month, I increase your price. So a lot of all these brands, they are actually reliant on Facebook for their branding. And the downside of them dropping out on Facebook is probably larger. So it could probably just be a 1 month stop, and they have no choice but they have to go back, and they might have to spend more on a subsequent month just to get back their branding in terms of the marketing dollar as well. And of course, I would say that definitely in terms of this situation, there will be companies that is going to cut down on advertising dollar, but at the same time, there will be people who actually spend more to take advantage of this current situation. So these people will actually spend more when it comes to Facebook as well. So even if you just look at the current company that we are in, Ultimate Investing, so we actually spend more during this COVID-19 period, right? So I think it really depends lah. So I would say I love this business because irregardless whether there's COVID or no COVID, in the long run, I think they will definitely benefit from the growing trend in social media, using social media for branding and using social media to actually advertise to the huge target group. And I think today, if let's say you want to sell a product, the thing about the Facebook is that you straight away you can reach out to 2.6 billion people out there. So that is the power of social media, and why so many people, so many business owners want to move online. In the easiest way for you to market your product and by going online is to put advertising dollar through companies like Facebook or Google or YouTube. So you don't have much choice, I would say, at least for current moment. So yes, that is my decision on Facebook. Again, I love this company. I can again, I want to say that if you are investing in this company, make sure that your time horizon is long term, because this company somehow seems to be getting a lot of negative, backslash from the government, from people here and there, but every time the price drop, within weeks, within days, within months, they will shoot up and go even higher. So if you have a long-term horizon on Facebook, I would say that you are pretty safe. You can just buy and then just leave it there. Don't look at it, because the more you look at it, first, it doesn't help at all. Secondly, if you cannot take the emotional psychology of the up and down of this stock, then you might actually get out at a loss. So remember, what we want to do over here is to buy low and sell high, not do the opposite. Okay, not buy high and sell low. So make sure that you love this company, you believe in the business model of this company, you believe 5 years, 10 years down the road, Facebook will still be here, they will be making more money. If you have that kind of conviction, then very simple, open your brokerage account, put some money inside, and then just leave it there. So with that, I end off my session for this week. Buy or buy on this company called Facebook. So next week, we are coming out with more Singapore stocks as well as more US stocks. So if you want to look at any companies for buy or buy series for the upcoming series, can you just put into the chat box as well? What are some of the Singapore stocks or what are some of the US stocks that you will be interested to look at? And then I will actually feature them in my upcoming buy or buy series. So once again, if you want the PDF of today's presentation, just put into the comments below CLAIM claim, and then we will actually drop you a Facebook Messenger, and then you will receive the PDF copy. Right. So with that, I want to end off my presentation for today. I thanks everyone for coming, and I look forward to see all of you in our upcoming series, and of course, more interaction on our Telegram as well. So again, if you have any questions, put it onto the Padlet or put it into the comments below, and then I will be able to answer your questions, at any point of time. So I'm going to end off. So thanks everyone for joining tonight. Okay, so again, invest safe, have a wonderful week ahead, and have a wonderful holiday next Friday. So see ya. All right, bye everyone.